Hey there, wedding enthusiasts. Welcome to Bridal Hype.
The podcast where we chat about everything under the wedding sun. No filter, all fun.
That's right. We're here to laugh, cringe, and celebrate all the wild and wonderful moments that comes with saying, I do.
From the latest trends that makes us go, really, to the epic fails that keeps us awake at night. We've got it all.
So whether you're tying the knot, planning the perfect day, or just love a good wedding story, you're in the right place.
Let's crank up the hype and celebrate the wonderful chaos of weddings together. Hello!
Hi!
Hi, we're back! Today's episode is for all the newly engaged couples.
Those wanting to start the planning process but have no idea where to begin.
We will give you a few tips and guidance on what to prepare before consulting your wedding planner. These will make the consulting process a little bit easier and not be so overwhelming.
Let's dive into it. So whether you're a potential bride, groom, this one is for you.
Ooh, so Linka, before we dive into this, what was your week like? Any challenges?
So my accomplishment for this week was all the progress we made with the podcast. I would definitely say that, although we were operating on minimal amount of sleep and doing the last little recon and packing up of the decor and the breakdown from the previous weekend's wedding. And I would say my challenge for this week was just to juggle everything. Having this new venture, it's exciting and it's thrilling, but also your other work carries on and your clients have expectations based on where they are at in their planning process. So I would say keeping everyone happy was a challenge for me this week.
I can think so. Well, hats off to you, I have to say. I'm very impressed with how you've been dealing this week and knowing that you've got a few weddings that one's just passed, one's coming up, and trying to juggle everything and putting all your efforts and soul into this project that we're taking on.
Of course.
I'm fortunate enough to not be as busy this month. I think there's a reason for it.
100%.
And we feel blessed in that way. But yeah, juggling everything, juggling the admin of everything, it's always a touchy subject when we are within the season.
Yes.
So yeah, for me this week's challenge was just to keep myself motivated with the little sleep that we did have, and obviously not being home as much. We obviously being away from family, and yeah, that did pile on a bit, so I'm missing home a little bit, but it's okay. We're gonna have a whole weekend to spend with everyone. And then my accomplishments for this week was definitely the podcast and the excitement I have, and with the lack of sleep, the amount of stuff that I did get done. So yeah, I'm actually excited for the next few weeks and the next things to come.
Happy with that. And yes, although it is tiring and long hours, I think we're handling it quite well.
Yeah, good on us. Pat on the shoulder.
Pat on the back.
Yes, let's do it. Anyway, let's jump into this conversation. Let's give all your beautiful brides out there and grooms some exciting tips of how to start the wedding planning process. So you're engaged, what now, Linka? What do we do?
What now? Although the engagement part is an extremely exciting event that takes place, it can also feel extremely overwhelming. So brides and grooms initially think that they need to jump into the process straight away, but that is not the case. We encourage you to enjoy the process for at least 2 to 4 months if you have the time and the time allows for it. There's no rush. There's a lot of time for you to soak in the entire new phase that your relationship is about to embark on, and we encourage you to take things slow and to sit down and think how exactly your timeline would flow from the initial engagement phase. Set your preferred date and have a look at the specific month that you have in mind, as well as the time of year that you'd like to get married.
Okay, so then we've got the time of year or month or season in mind that we want to get married. More or less, generally people have kind of I want to get married in 12 months, 10 months, 6 months, 2 months, whatever the case may be.
So now the couple has a date in mind and they have a specific time of the year in mind, but still very overwhelmed. So what would you say is next?
So the very much daunting budget topic is up next. We need to set a budget range at least. Some people don't know what wedding costs, and that's fine if you don't know. But ideally, you would have an upper limit of what you do not want to exceed for your wedding day.
Yes.
In that, put that together, put that down, speak to the people you need to that's maybe contributing towards the wedding. If it's you and your partner alone that's only paying for it, set your timeline in terms of managing or saving for a budget. It's a very good starting point to go off.
Absolutely. Although you can only have your maximum limit.
Yes.
And then work backwards from there.
Exactly.
That already indicates a lot.
Yes, exactly. For current wedding budgets, we have a big range. Really, it's up to you as a couple to decide what you're comfortable with paying. Please just take guidance from your planner when it does come to budget. Some people do come with an unrealistic amount, or they come with an amount which is very comfortable, but then the expectations is a lot more than what we can accommodate. So a planner's guidance here is extremely valued.
Definitely.
But again, things that do determine your budget is definitely your guest list. A lot of people forget that if you have a massive amount of guests, your budget will increase quite dramatically.
Absolutely.
But also, addition to that, the guest list only impacts the food, the beverages, table decor, and potentially your size of venue that you would need. Other elements like a photographer or a DJ are fixed costs. They have a set package whether you are 300 or 30 people. So take that in consideration. And then accommodation. This is your biggest budget eater
For sure.
of everything. If you are going to pay for everyone to stay over, literally 150 people to stay over at a certain site or at a specific area, and you do not consult your planner on it, you will run short. Accommodation is extremely expensive nowadays.
Definitely.
And we highly recommend that, should you have that, have an external filter in your budget for accommodation. Okay, then we also recommend personal expenses. People forget that stuff like your wedding dress, your rings, bridesmaids dresses, those things are generally personal expenses that we don't account for as your wedding day budget. Wedding planners should, in the initial consultation, ask these questions and ask, is this included, excluded out of the budget that you are supplying us with?
100%.
But that is kind of just a bit of an overview of budget and how to get to your preferred budget. So Linka, we've got the date, we've got our budget range. What's up next?
I would suggest that you definitely start to dive into your guest list, because putting together everyone that you would like to invite to your wedding plays a massive role. And also remember, if the amount of people that you invite to your wedding and the amount of people that will actually be attending your wedding, they are two different amounts. So keep that in mind. For international weddings or destination weddings, we highly recommend that you give your guests at least 16 to 12 months in advance to also plan their trip. They need to book flight tickets, they need to book accommodation, and that trip will take time. And especially if the wedding takes place in high season or peak season, accommodation places in and around your venue might be already booked. So those are elements to take into consideration for sure. We would suggest that you start the planning process at least 18 months prior to your wedding date. But for locals, you can start planning 12 months in advance, with your save the dates only going out 10 to 8 months prior and your invites 7 to 5 months prior. That is ample time. Things to consider when putting a guest list together would be about 20% of your guests invited will not be able to attend, like we've mentioned. And that may be for various reasons, but your guest list determines the venue you consider for sure, and the more guests means a bigger venue space. So this can definitely impact your decor requirements. So to elaborate on Elizabeth's previous point regarding your budget, the food and beverages as well as your venue and small decor hiring is one of the biggest elements that will be impacted based off of your guest list amount.
Ooh, okay. And what's next, Linka? What do we do?
Oh, my favorite part, the look and feel. So get your Pinterest board ready. We always tell our brides that the more info they give us and the more inspiration pics they provide, the better we can create the vision that's in their head and minds, and try out to the best of our abilities to bring that to life.
Exactly.
So the more we know, the more you dive into the details, and you tell us about your look and feel that you want to envision for your day when you sit behind your bridal table and you look out to your venue. What do you want to see in front of you? The more we know of that, the better.
The better, the easier. And it also gives us an indication in terms of what your expectations is for the day. Some people are a bit more minimalistic, other people are very over the top. So we can immediately see that with the Pinterest board, or not necessarily just Pinterest. Go look at Instagram, like other inspirations out there. There's amazing content and amazing apps and stuff on the internet that you can just look at and get excited about. We also want to make sure that the look and feel really stems and portrays you as a client and as a couple.
Absolutely.
And we love seeing that and seeing how your personalities fit with the look and feel that you supply to us. If you don't have any look and feel, or you don't have a Pinterest board, or you don't even know where to start with a Pinterest board, that's also okay. Just get some kind of color theme in mind.
Yes.
Something that I like, the clean cut white and green, or I do like an opulent showcase of colors, or I'm bold, or no, very minimalistic, very white and black, gold elements, whatever. So you can just chat about that.
Yes, the look and feel that you have in mind also needs to correlate with the venue of choice.
Yes. Final steps, guys. So you've got your date, time, month, you've got your budget, you've got your guest list, and you've got your look and feel ready. What do we do now? This is when we'll start looking at location, whether it's a beautiful winelands, a beach wedding, a garden feel, the location and area that you're considering. If you want to do it abroad, you do it abroad. If you want to do it local, you do it local. So with that, you choose your preferred location and then you consult your wedding planner. We highly recommend that you do not book your venue prior to booking your planner.
Please.
A planner can really help you save cost, or really dive deep into those hidden costs and T's and C's that venue has on their contracts. I'm not saying a venue is a bad supplier. You get amazing venues out there, but it's just to guide you in explaining that this is a cost heavy venue, or these elements are excluded of the venue hire, you need to consider X, Y, and Z. Or we compare venue prices and packages to each other to give you a complete overview of this is what your wedding would cost when you go to that specific venue. At Linka, just to give you an explanation on this, is I've actually had a client that booked a venue before they booked me, and after they've booked me and consulted with me, gave them their budget proposal back, and they've seen that the venue have absorbed 50% of their budget.
That is a massive problem, because it immediately tightens your budget, and now we have to make the impossible happen.
Well, you compromise on other elements, and
you
don't understand.
Unfortunately,
you don't understand on which element you have to compromise or not compromise on. Or there might be you wanted to do an open bar, but okay, maybe we'll rather just do the cash bar and save some money. Or I wanted amazing installations in the roof, that's floral installations, talk draping, whatever. Now we can't do that because we've spent too much of the budget that's allocated towards your wedding day to your actual venue.
Yes, and that's why we normally tell our clients, please focus on what is important to you as a couple. Where do you want to splurge a bit more? And then we take a little bit more from a different element that's not as important to you.
Exactly.
And then by doing that way we create your dream day and focus on the things that you as a couple, because it is really, the day is about the two of you, but that you would appreciate and that would make your wedding as special as possible.
Exactly. But all of these things and all of these insights can definitely be given you as a guidance from a planner's perspective. So book your consultation with your planner, chat to them prior to booking any vendors. They're there to help you. You don't have to book with us. That's not what we're saying right now. There's so many amazing planners out there. There's someone for everyone. A planner needs to fit your vibe, fit your personalities as well. This person is going to know the ins and outs of you as your personalities and you as a client. They're going to walk this very special path with you. So book that consultation in and make sure you get all the guidance you need.
Exactly. So in conclusion for today, wedding planning can be very daunting, but with these initial steps, you will be set up for success. So remember, enjoy the engagement process. Set up a date and time of year that you prefer, determine your budget, compile your guest list, create that vision board, and then consult a wedding planner while you are still considering the location and the venue.
We hope this episode could help guide you, future brides out there. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you for listening.
Bye!
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Bridal Hype.
If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe and leave a review. Join us on social media to share your thoughts and connect with our hype community.
Be sure to catch our next episode. Until next time,
Keep the hype alive.